Mm-hmm.
Hey everyone, it's Jerry at the Fledge using he, him pronouns. Welcome to another episode of Every Damn Day. Today on our show, we've got our good friend Dani. How you doing, Dani?
So good. How are you, Jerry?
I'm doing spectacular. It's going to rain, but it's still warm out, which I don't know if that's good or bad, given global warming in November. Yeah. But yeah, it's good. How you doing? Did you enjoy the nice weather?
Oh, I have. Yeah. I mean, as a Michigander, right, we kind of we have that like weird guilt if you don't go outside on a nice day in, late fall, right? So I've been just sitting outside, honestly, not doing much, just crosswords on the porch, but it's been nice.
Well, sometime soon the ice will be hitting us in the face and we'll be crying about these days being gone, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
So why don't you start out by telling us a little bit about yourself and about your project and anything you want to talk about?
All right. Sounds good. So I am Dani Raymond. I'm a bartender by trade, and I've been bartending for around 7 years. And basically right when I got into it, I realized it was like this huge passion and kind of combined everything I loved, like making people party, I guess. I've always thrown parties, in high school and, in college. And it just kind of came natural to then make it into a profession and like being able to actually connect with people and being part of their life and their joys or their sorrow and just, yeah. So, I mean, that's what I am. I am a bartender through and through. And my project is going to be starting my own bar and restaurant in the near future. Yeah, I guess that's about it. Yeah, that's the.
So you said you've been doing this for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Has that all been in Lansing, or were you somewhere else?
Yeah, I've been working for just over 5 years now in Lansing at the Avenue Cafe on Michigan Avenue. Come and visit. It's super fun.
Oh, we'll be plugging it again, I'm sure.
But before that, I was down in Chelsea, Michigan at it's a really weird little spot. It's a Jets Pizza. But it serves beer and liquor and wine. It's the first Jets Pizza that they allowed to do this, and they had like 41 drafts, all craft beers on tap. So that was like an interesting place to work. I worked there for like a year. And before that, I was down in Dexter, also down by Ann Arbor, at a kind of like more high-end establishment where I learned how to make martinis. Like by like a gun to my head, business guys coming in like, I don't even know what a dry martini is. I don't know what vermouth is, so that was an interesting place to have my first like bartending shifts for sure.
But now you're inventing amazing drinks.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really like, are you still going to do them even though the farmer's market is moving inside and all of that?
So not really. So you can imagine the kind of things you get at a winter farmer's market. And I could try to make a kale cocktail, and I would try to make a kale cocktail, but I just don't know how great it'll turn out. Or, I mean, I have done like a carrot cocktail before, and it turned out really nice. But, I mean, the options are limited. But I do have this really cool thing. I'll show them to you. Hold on. Okay. So instead, on Wednesdays, I'm going to be doing... and I'm thinking about doing like kind of like an Instagram kind of about it. So there's these dice that kind of, they say different kind of ingredients. There's like vodka, whiskey on this one, and then like different kinds of like how it'll taste. So like smoky, spicy, and then savory and tart and whatever. So we roll them, and then I just have to make a cocktail up out of it. So like a stirred floral drink with rum in it. I mean, so that's my next step on Wednesdays. I have a friend who I met bartending, and I told her about this, and she was like, wow, Dani, you really just love to like make more work for yourself and make it like super stressful all the time. And I'm like, yeah, I know, it's what I do.
I was thinking we should be growing some microgreens in the back room for you.
Yeah.
so that you have them throughout the winter so you can make your drinks too.
Oh my gosh, totally. Yeah, 100%.
So, all right. I don't even know where to start. Well, first of all, we didn't talk enough about your project. So why don't you tell us about the bar, like what your vision is?
Yeah. So my vision is kind of dive bar, comfortable dive bar with, without the dirt. It'll be clean. With high-end cocktails, right? But like ones that make sense. So I have a rule of threes. Most cocktails should have 3 ingredients and be easily made, right? So you can go home and make it if you want to. So definitely just like a place for the community to come and hang out. The main thing, a huge thing, is to eventually make it employee owned, because in the service industry, there's this like stigma that it's not really a job. It's just a side thing you do until you get a real job. And there's so many talented people who like, this is their passion, right? They go to a table and they can make a grumpy person happy by the end of it. And they fucking love it, right? They get off to it. And I do too. And then they're like, and then they go out to the world and the world's like, well, your passion, the thing you've been working on your whole life is bullshit. So I want to make it like, so there is a place where you can like go to retire, that we call, I think of the Avenue as like a place good bartenders and good servers go to retire, because like we don't have to do a lot of bullshit. Like we don't have to roll silverware, we really can just like, we just get to like be ourselves there. There's no uniforms or whatever. So I want to have that vibe where like all the employees get to just be themselves and like raise each other up. And being employee owned, I mean, they just have more of a stake in it. And there's already, I have my list is just like running through my head all the time of all these wonderful people that I want to work with, and like have a community with. So that's like the biggest thing, have it like a home base. And then, teach them to be better. Yes. Yeah.
So, the Fledge is kind of paired with the Avenue. That's our local bar. That's our go-to place when we want to go out and have a drink, and that we miss so much during this COVID. But, you said, you're good at making people party or something like that. I can't remember exactly those words, but it's so much more. And I want to take something. You were in the One and All program with Leap over the last couple of months. And you said something once in one of your pitches that really inspired me and made me feel super passionate about what you're doing. And it was, when people come to have a drink to celebrate or to be sad. And it's not always fun and games, is it?
For sure. Yeah, 100%. And that's part of it, right? And that's part of the connection. Sit down and talk to someone about their sadness and about what they're going through. And at the end of it, maybe all I can do is like give them a shot, and that is my go-to, like, mommy needs medicine, daddy needs medicine, take the medicine. But like the in between that, it's really kind of beautiful, and just the relationships that are sparked through food and drink. It's just like, it's like the most natural thing in the world, right?
When I walk in the Avenue and it's not so crowded and you guys are just there working, the energy is so positive and so fun. Just that you guys create by yourselves, everyone who works there. But then when it is crowded, you guys have taken that energy and just dispersed it through the crowd. And it becomes such a great place. And, you guys are heroes to me, starting with Colleen, who owns the Avenue, down to all of you, because you really do take care of the community. And I can just see how, you're able to build that culture. How do you make sure that culture comes with you, or are you the epicenter of that?
I'm not. No, Colleen, I think is 100% the epicenter. When I first started working there, honestly, I was like, why is she doing these events? Like, she's not like she's not making money on it. She's not whatever. And it took me probably a year, 2 years to be like, oh, you know, this isn't just a bar. You know, I felt that when I first started working there, even before, like when I was just like a patron there. And it's not just a bar, right? It's this community, right? And I remember one time I was talking to someone, it was like at like a friend's Thanksgiving something, and I said something about, you know, the community of my bar, and they were like, oh, it's just a bar. And like I was like livid, you know, I was like so mad. So to bring that, I mean, I just keep doing, you know, what Colleen has instilled in me, and like doing those kind of dorky like kids concerts or whatever, right? You know, and like the memorials that we've had there, you know, doing that, you know, bringing that too, and letting the space be fluid and open to what the community needs, right? I mean, that's what she does.
Yeah. So you got all these kids in these surrounding areas around Lansing, you know, Dansville and Fowlerville and whatever. I'm not ragging on any cities, but these kids, they can sometimes have a tough time in those communities, especially if they're in the LGBTQ community or what have you. And you guys are such a refuge. I mean, you can see it. You can see that they just flock to Lansing because of that. I'm not going to say because of the Avenue, but the Avenue's definitely a safe spot.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. The whole East Side is, right. I know so many people who've done that exact thing, like migrated here because of that. Like, you know, they met one person on Instagram or whatever the kids do these days, the TikTok. And then they come, and there is that community, because then they just keep coming, right? They just keep coming, and it's a beautiful thing, right? It really is.
Yeah. So, but I think you got it. I mean, your energy is there too. I mean, I saw the pitches that you were doing with One and All, your passion for what you want to do. I do want to go back to your bar a little bit, and that employee owned, and I want to just throw some, not numbers, but some facts out for people. So the number one industry hiring people, or that people are employed in, is the service industry. And it's also one of the lowest paid industries. So we have a lot of people who work in the service industry that can barely pay rent, or probably can't pay rent. They're probably still couch surfing. So a lot of people living in poverty, living under the Alice threshold, and really just trying to survive like day to day on tips and all of that. So tip your servers, number one, tip everybody. But talk to me about that a little bit more, because I think what your vision helps change that.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. I think that it has a lot to do with the idea that restaurants are a money-making, you know, profitable thing, which is like kind of horseshit, right? Unless you are running those like the, you know, the chain restaurants, right, that just treat their employees like shit. I guess, paying a living wage is a huge thing that just, and with the tip, which I love the tips, right? I do like the tip concept. But that's a huge loophole for these, you know, restaurants, to make more money for themselves. I guess it would just be the concept. I mean, it's pretty smart, right? It's just have your employees be happy and a part of what you're doing, and they're going to do better. They're going to be happier, and, you know, make other people happy, and, you know, in return.
A lot of people, when they get these business cliches all the time, right? That first bar that you learned to make martinis at, they would come in and the customer's always first and stuff like that, right? Yeah. Richard Branson, the billionaire from Virgin Records and Virgin Airlines and all of that, always promotes the employee first, because they're the ones who take care of the customer. You feel that too?
Oh yeah, 100%, right? Yeah, 100%, always. And that's a huge thing at the Avenue. And even like the bartending job I had prior to it, they always like had my back, you know. If I said, you know, this guy's crossed the line, you know, they say, okay, we need to kick him out, right? They, you know, you have to have your employees back no matter what, right? And if you don't trust your employee, why are they employed there? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you guys have been amazing at the Avenue during COVID. Now we got caught on the Avenue too much, maybe, but I just want to say that
that's what I'm doing right now. So, and
it's been super safe. I know that you're going to take that out with you.
Yeah.
You know, the Avenues is like an incubator for all these different things with Ruckus and the burgers and your hot dog thing and all of that. It's going to be amazing. What are you going to do about COVID though? What are your plans to kind of make it through this tough time?
Totally. Well, COVID or, the next thing that happens, right? Yeah. Definitely take a lot of the precautions that we put in place at the Avenue. Also just like have right off the bat, because I think that people are going to be gun shy for a long time, coming out of this, just having a to-go, just right off the bat, get to-go liquor, to-go food, do basically everything packaged to go, kind of like street food, right? That's already like kind of there, right? And then, just having the to-go liquor right off the bat. Also, like I love the idea of doing like People's Kitchens have been doing this, like the build your own, like they give you the certain ingredients and then you just go buy the liquor. Like I think that's super cute. That's like alcoholic Lunchables. It's like that's fucking cool, right? So
that is cool.
Like that. And in that sense too, then you can start selling that online, right? Just like go ship it if it doesn't have liquor in it. So definitely all the to go,
So do you think, just hearing you talk about this, it sounds like COVID could be giving you an advantage over somebody who maybe started a bar 3 years ago.
Yeah. Right? I think, like living through it, I think it definitely, 2 years ago, last year, you wouldn't have, nothing like this would be in your mind, right? But having to live through it and having to navigate it, and it's just like every day is another puzzle to put together, Oh my gosh, I honestly, it's like one of those things. It sucks, but it really has made me a better person for it, a better problem solver, and I feel like a little more compassionate to people these days, like, damn, we all are really going through something, But definitely, I think that if I had the opportunity to have opened a bar 2 years ago, I'd probably be under, right? I'd be working at the Avenue again.
So, is there something you do, and you kind of alluded to one thing you do, and that's solve the puzzle, but what's something you do every damn day to kind of keep this mission moving forward? Because it's got to be tiring sometime with everything.
I just recently had one of those, how the fuck am I, kind of down days. I say every damn day, I try to make a connection with a new person, I try to, meet a new person. And every damn day I think about my bar, but I think every day I try to, every day I'm out in the world. That's not every day now, but I try to make a new connection with someone, a real one too, Yeah. So I think that's what I do.
I think that's good advice for across the board. Everything we do through other people. Mm-hmm. And, you can't have a bar without people in it. You can't have a fledge without people, or maybe not people in it, whatever the new words are going to be. But that's for you to solve and create this new wonderful way of thinking of what a bar and the bar experience is going to be. So yesterday, and this is going to fit in, we might have talked a little bit about it, but yesterday we had Chris. He's a Davenport University esports coach. So like he recruits students to play video games and he gives them scholarships. Sounds weird, but it's a new future. He has a question to pass on to you. And that question is, what's your COVID angle? Like, what's the one thing that COVID might have done for you that's going to make you a better bar than if you wouldn't have had COVID? And we might have touched a little bit, but that's okay. Let's reiterate.
You can't talk about owning a bar, working at a bar without talking about COVID right now, right? I think that, just learning to problem solve more, being more fluid, right? Yeah. And being able to pivot. I feel like you say that we're a lot, Jerry. Being able to pivot. And definitely, yeah, reimagining what a bar is going to look like and how to connect with people, because that's really what it comes down to. Like we were saying, like people go to a bar to talk and to be with the people that are there. So yeah, like doing outside stuff. I have this weird dream of having a greenhouse in Michigan, and then it's also like a dining area. So in the wintertime you can be around green stuff. That might help. Yeah.
That's an amazing dream. I like that dream a lot. Like we grew like 3,000 starter plants in the sanctuary at the Fledge, and just being around those plants all the time, because it was like a weird time as COVID was happening and all of that. That's a great idea. I mean, I could imagine my table in the middle of these plants.
Like a secret garden,
Yeah. But I like the way you're thinking, right? This is how you have to think now about what this new experience is going to be.
Yep.
So tomorrow on the show, we have Paulo, who is we're going to talk about his project, which is Conversations Around Africa. And what question would you like me to pass on to Paulo?
Paulo, I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about a time that you helped someone, or like your favorite memory of maybe encouraging someone to do better or grow themselves. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you that same exact question then. Tell us a story about you building someone up, or,
I think I have a story, and this is the first one that pops into mind. So it's a regular at the Avenue. I won't say his name, but he probably a year ago, he came up to me and he's like, "You know what, Dani? When you first started working here, God, you really rubbed me the wrong way. You're just so much." And I was like, "No, I get that. Like my nephew calls me too much. He's like, Auntie Dani, you're overwhelming. Get out of my face." But he's like one of my dearest friends now, and so I guess that's just like the example of like getting to know someone really, and both ways, right? So maybe I was just, and then, I actually talked to him, right? I guess that's one. I guess we could talk about like working with employees. I feel like I kind of push people to do more, right? And I also don't care. Like, people are like, "Oh, can I run this cocktail? Can I do that?" I said, just do whatever you got to do. Do you. And I feel like that's enough. But then I also push them. I don't know. Does that make sense? That's rambling.
I think, to give people freedom to learn, like with the one and all, I'm coming back to that for a second. Yeah. You had a coach and you had a mentor. And the coach was there to kind of give you guidance and tell you what to do. But that mentor is there to come find you and walk with you in the darkest of times, in the best light of whatever, and not necessarily to tell you, here's what you have to do, but just to be there with you while you're taking this, pretty rough journey. And I think that's the microcosm of you, the Avenue. I mean, you guys are kind of this recursive organization where the little parts are just like the big parts. You guys really are amazing. And your business is going to be really amazing too.
Yeah.
Let me take care of just a couple comments I always make, and then I'm going to come back to you on something else too. Please subscribe to the Fledge's YouTube channel. Every damn day airs every damn day. 99 Problems, but a Pitch Ain't One is every Friday at 9 a.m. We cut out the Sundays. Monday, we're having Coding Club live now, so that's a virtual event. And then Tuesday at 3, we have 10,000 Fledges, where we talk about how we're going to put 10,000 Fledges around the world. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and get involved with those conversations. And what I wanted to come back to you with, Dani, is describe your vision today. Describe your restaurant. And you did this for me before when we were working on your pitch. But tell us all, what's that first day you're open, or what's 3 years from now and you're open and who's sitting there and what are they doing.
Yeah.
And you don't have to name names and all that. You offend me because I'm not sitting there. I want to be in the room.
You'll be in the room for sure. I'd say you walk in. I want to have it mostly like dark wood, right? I want, cozy lighting. I would love Colleen to be sitting there the first day. Maybe pour her a fireball. Yeah, I mean, just my parents probably. Gosh, yeah. I would love everyone that's helped me this far, yourself included, Jerry, to be there and to see it, to see that it did it,
Yeah. So what's the drink menu going to be like?
Okay, so I do have, so I have this bird themed life. My life is bird themed. So I have one that's called For the Birds, and it'd be a shot of Fernet Branca and a Tecate. I kind of want a whole bird themed menu. Too much though. Definitely Negroni. I mean, that's a classic. Follows the rule of threes too. My absolute favorite drink. I have the pins to prove it. Yeah. Definitely. So nice cocktails with fresh ingredients, interesting ingredients. Like herbs you wouldn't think to put in a cocktail, like parsley and dill. Fennel is great in cocktails. Oh my God, I'm going to get a fennel cocktail this week.
I just started eating raw fennel this summer. I never had before. I love it.
Oh my God, I love fennel. I've never had it raw. That's sad. I'm going to make one. You'll have to come in and try it. I've done it. I infused vodka with fennel before. Well, I'll make one this week. It'll be good.
Okay.
Come in and try.
Can I eat at your bar?
Yep, you can eat. I have a couple kitchen buddies that'll be working on the menu.
Okay. And is it the Avenue punk rock music, or is it chill?
I think it's everything.
I don't know, Buddha.
It's like fucking honky tonk one day, and punk rock the next day, fucking jazz and Cubana. I mean, it's everything. I have to say, one of my favorite things about working at the Avenue and being able to do whatever the fuck I want is I get to make these playlists. I love making a good playlist. And when someone compliments me on my playlist, I'm like, a little extra pep in my step, and all my playlists they just from here to there. I mean, they've got a little bit of everything on them, I
would think you're getting complimented on your playlist every day. I mean, it's always
every damn day I get complimented on my playlist, Jerry.
That's something you do. Okay. So is there anything else you want to tell us about this place sounds wonderful. It sounds safe. It sounds like I can come in there and be whoever I want to be and have these weird little things and be surrounded by these, I don't know, just something that's not my conforming normal. I can escape, right?
Yeah, totally. Right? I mean, that's why you go to a bar, escape a little bit.
That's why Colleen would come to your place, is she needed
I know she right?
have dinner at
get out of here.
a break. So we always end the show with words of wisdom from the guest. So you got anything you want to take us out with? And then I'll have one thing too.
Okay.
Okay,
I told this to a friend the other day, and I don't know if it has anything to do with anything we were talking about today. I actually tell this to my dogs all the time. If you don't run towards a growling dog, you'll probably be fine. That's it. It has nothing to do with anything we talked about, but.
Well, it'll be a good lead-in for me. And that growling dog right now is COVID. And I know we all thought for sure that Trump was right and that it was going to go away the day after the election. we're being sarcastic. Don't anybody pick up and say I ever agreed with him. But it's not. I mean, the 10% of the cases in the U.S. have happened in the last 10 days. That is not anything that is under control. It is a burning wildfire that is a mess. And get your masks on. Be safe. When you're out in public, don't you dare threaten or hurt any of these industry people or these frontline people that are there to try to help us through this, but also to try to protect us and get this under control. Our economy doesn't recover without us doing the right thing. And so just a reminder to everybody, we need Dani's restaurant to open up. And if Dani gets sick and can't do it, then we don't get all of those lovely things. So, Dani, thanks for being such a wonderful part of our community and making the Avenue great and wanting to kind of, I guess it's like a spider plant behind you, right? The Avenue is this big one, and now this little baby Dani thing is going to happen. So, love you lots. Glad to have you on the show, and we'll talk soon. See you, everybody.